Pepper says, are you ready to declutter another section of this hoarded basement? I know I am. It is that time of the week again. It is time to declutter another section in this hoarded basement. And all year we have been chopping away at it. We're going to be continuing to work in this section, working towards the front. Hello everyone! So as we are decluttering this section right here, I really wanted to dive deeper into the connection of clutter, hoarding, and PTSD and trauma, and really dive deep into those emotions, that thought process, and how I got here and how I'm starting to reverse it. But the main focus for today is to talk about that connection, the clutter PTSD response, the symptom, the coping mechanism. I'm really going to dive deep into that so that everyone can really understand what's going on with hoarding disorder. Now, for a majority of people, the clutter triggers anxiety, depression, overwhelm. They don't feel at peace. But for the hoarder, the clutter was just a response, a symptom of anxiety, depression, PTSD. The clutter is not really triggering it, it's self-soothing it. What triggered me to be anxious with the clutter was what people thought of me when they saw my messes, when they saw the condition of the home. That's what triggered the anxiety and spiraled my mind into, why can't I clean this up? Why is this so hard for me? Why am I so messy? That's what triggered it, not the clutter itself, because subconsciously, the clutter had kept me safe since early childhood. I am an ADHD person. I didn't know it as a kid or a teenager. I didn't get a diagnosis until much later in life. But if you look at my early childhood, I always had messes. I always had toys everywhere. Nothing was ever cleaned out. And my room was just contained with all the messes, and my mom didn't mind because as long as it was contained in my room, she was okay. And I believe with all of my heart and soul that I create so much better. I'm more creative. I'm more in an imaginary spot when I'm kind of covered and surrounded with stuff. Believe it or not, it's just more stimulating for me to create when I have stuff around me. Now, that was my childhood. That still exists now. As I got older, I got very badly bullied in middle school. So badly that, it was really hard. I didn't tell anybody I was being bullied. I didn't tell my parents. Really didn't talk about that kind of stuff. You didn't talk about you kind of hid it from others. And a way for me to cope with that was through all the stuff. This stuff was there. My drawings, my creativity, all of my things that represented happiness in my life made me feel safe. So it was a form of escapism. As I came home from being bullied, I would feel so loved and creative and more of my authentic self when I was in my room that was, let's be real, untidied and cluttered. There was the first conditioning that the clutter kept me safe. It didn't hurt me. The stuff was not going to judge me like all the other kids at school. This was a safe space for me to be my authentic self and who I truly was. That's how that connection of a trauma response to the clutter started to connect. It started forming a bond, and that thought process continued all through adolescence, all through when I was being badly abused by an ex-boyfriend. It had always saved me. So it comes to no surprise that when I was in an extremely abusive relationship with an ex-boyfriend in my teen years, I hid it and I dealt with it with all of my stuff It was a form of escapism because as my nervous system was triggering all the alarms while I was being hurt, it said, I know what to do. I know what to do to calm myself down. Go to all your stuff. Save it. They won't hurt you there. That's where you're beautiful. That's where you're safe. That's where you can hide all your bruises on your skin and in your soul. You're safe here. You can be your authentic self and not be any of the awful things that he says that you are. It was at that point that my messy room and hoarded conditions in my teenage room became a survival mechanism for me. And my internal program became, I have to save everything that comes my way, or else I will not be able to survive through all of this pain. And as I got older into adulthood, that was my internal coding, that whenever there was any amount of stress, fear, anxiety, my nervous system knew that I know how to save us. We're gonna hoard. And when you have that continuous reel playing in your head, when you continuously have that same thought process, you can see how easy it is for someone to become a level 4 or a level 5 hoarder. So now that we can see just how deep-rooted that trauma clutter connection is, this is why I say that the worst thing you can do to try and help a hoarder is to just get rid of all the clutter at once, because it's too shocking to their nervous system. It's actually creating new trauma because you're only addressing the symptom, not the root of the issue. So the hoard will inevitably come back to self-soothe that new trauma that was created. Now, in a world where trauma had pushed my behavior of saving things over the top, past a healthy boundary of being resourceful, not being able to curate sentimental items or maintain a functioning home to the point of creating a level 4 hoarding situation, many of you are probably wondering, how do you turn that all around? Well, know that you can't completely heal all of your trauma in just one day. This is a process, and this takes time. You can see how many years it's taken me to get to this place. And that's okay, because as long as you're starting where you are and taking that first step, you'll be able to turn it all around. Honor where you are, because this is the pivotal point where your life gets better. Your first step is where you feel your inner power to take action. You believe that you can do this. So it could be just decluttering 1 or 2 things. It could be that I'm going to declutter this junk drawer, or it could even be I'm going to journal about my emotions that I'm feeling as I start my decluttering journey. Let me know in the comments below, what do you want to declutter right now? What do you believe that you can clean out, let go, and enjoy that new space? Feel that moment. Feel you taking those actions. See you already clearing out the space. What is that? What does that look like for you? I want you to feel so proud of yourself, especially because you recognize the inner strength that is within you to be able to accomplish this. Because what we're doing is rewiring our nervous system that we are still safe if we declutter. The clutter is no longer a survival mechanism. It's no longer a coping mechanism, because in this moment, we're feeling so good about ourselves and the experience of cleaning out our spaces. And as we're rewiring our nervous system that we are still safe if we declutter, we're starting to heal that internal chaos. It's allowing us to get to the next step of that root trauma so that we can feel safe to start to process it, because we no longer need the clutter to cope with it. We no longer need the clutter as a symptom, because look at all the things we were so easily able to let go of this episode. As I release the trauma, I also release the clutter, this symptom, because there's no more energetic ties that I need to hold on to this stuff to survive. The strength is within you to start releasing that past trauma. Just honor where you are. Take the next baby step that you believe in wholeheartedly, because as you continue those baby steps, as you can see, you'll get closer and closer to your goal. We opened up another space in this basement. We're getting closer and closer to the front of it. We're making quicker decisions. We can do this. You can also do this, because I believe in you as well. And my hope and my prayer is that this video motivated and encouraged you to clean, declutter a section in your home today too.